circle is, please say your name and what you're bringing to the circle. So let's start with Glory.
Good morning, I'm Glory. I bring lots of curiosity to the circle. I'm always very eager to learn and receive the messages, which are always amazing in these meditations. So I said, pass the passing stick to Lynn.
I am Lynn, and I bring a sense of adventure and whimsy to the circle for that play, and similar to Glory, the curious, the fun part. And Marcy, what do you bring to the group?
Hi. Well, first of all, thank you for receiving me here. I bring a lot of gratitude, a lot of, I take this as an opportunity to learn, so gratitude, and also my creativity. I bring that to the group. And oh, I pass it to, I don't see everybody else, so I don't know who to pass it to.
Okay, you're on the phone. So
I'm on the phone, yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
that would be me, that's fine. And did we pronounce your name correctly, Marcy?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I'm Meenakshi, and I bring, today, I'm bringing happiness at this co-creation to the circle. And I pass the talking stick to Teresa. Teresa, what are you bringing today to the circle? Okay, I think Teresa either.
Okay, I figured it out. I couldn't get the, it timed out and I couldn't get the passcode in, and then I had to redo the, I'm sorry. I'm just bringing love and peace and joy. That's true.
Okay, so let's pass it to White Feather. What are you bringing to the circle?
My name is White Feather, and I'm bringing joy to the circle.
So it's very beautiful what we are co-creating. Can everyone put in the chat what you have brought to the circle? Please write your name and what you have brought. So we are starting with another round. And this round is, how did we find our way to this circle, to co-create a circle? So starting again with Glory, how did you find these Sunday circles?
You, Meenakshi, you've been such a blessing in my life.
Lynn?
I am Lynn, and I found the co-creator circle on Eventbrite. I'm kind of new to Zoom, and I was just searching for healing and looking for like-minded people, a sense of community. And I feel so lucky to have found the circle. I've been to over 20 events, and similar to Glory, Meenakshi has been a great influence in my life. I feel like I'm a better, more grounded person after participating in these events. So I'm very happy to be here. And Marcy, how did you find out about the co-creator events?
Okay, I found you through my dear friend Glory. We very interesting because we met each other years ago, but we never really talked about any of our spiritual path or adventures, as you call them. And we found each other again years later after not seeing each other, and we're pretty much on the same journey, and it's been absolutely amazing. And I found you guys through her, and I'm very, very happy, and I feel extremely blessed. So I think the next one is Minashi.
Yes. Thank you. I'm very happy that you came here with Glory. And well, I found Co-Creator Circle in a very interesting way, because I wanted to have some presence on the web for all the work that my students are doing. And I was thinking about what should be the name of the business, or the name of, and the name also of the domain. And this was many years ago when we were looking for a domain name, and we couldn't find everything that I was thinking of. And when I'm saying we, it was a friend and I. Every name we could possibly think of was already taken. At that time, the internet was not very busy. There was not too much in the World Wide Web, and yet everything we were interested in was taken. But suddenly one day I thought of Co-Creator Circle. And when I did, it was amazing to me that it was just available. So I realized then that's how the messages come to us, because this domain was there, it was available, it wanted to be found, and so it got found, you know. So that's how, and these Sunday circles came because a long time ago, and we realized that this is one time when many people in the world are awake. Today we are all from the US, but sometimes we've had people from India, not Australia, that's right now not at a very good waking up time. But we do have many people sometimes at, you know, different countries. And when I was in Singapore, this was about more than 20 years ago, then Taveta used to guide meditations on Wednesdays at her home. Those were very beautiful circles, full of people who were awakened people, very awakening, you know, already on their path. And it was a circle where everyone brought a lot of wisdom and light. But Taveta's meditations are what brought us together. And so I was very happy to find that she was willing to do these meditations with us, the guided meditations, because as we've seen, it's not just her channeling from source, but also her voice, which is so transformative. Today, she will not be physically here, but she's given because she's been asked not to be physically present, but she's going to give a message, which we will later, she wanted me to read out. So I pass this on to Teresa. Tree, how did you find these Sunday circles? Because since Marcy is new, it'll help her to get to know all of us better.
Thank you.
Meenakshi used to be in a medicine Reiki group, and I met Meenakshi through the group, through Kusitawa's group, and so I learned about the Co-Creators group through Meenakshi.
White Feather?
And I'm White Feather. And you know what, Meenakshi, I don't remember how I actually first came to you. I don't know if it came in my mail or anyway. I'm grateful that I did, because I really needed something with a group of people, and the co-creator name was drew me in, you know, because that's what I've been doing my whole life in different things. And I really enjoyed. I sort of miss some of the people that were doing it at the time when I came in and aren't in it right now. And so I'm going to ask the universe if maybe they can come back, or Because
Yeah.
the man offers something that we all need to, that is important. And
Yes.
so I'm so grateful to be here and be with all of you other women. It's really nice to hear what's going on and how you're doing in your lives also. Thank you.
White Feather came because of Danae. Danae
Thank
and
you.
I, yeah, we have a midwives for Gaia once a month on the new moon. So that's how you came into the circle.
That is how I came. Thank you.
See, this shows something very important and beautiful, and that is that when we come together, we form a resonant field where we remember one another. We know of one another. Sometimes we know something that the other person doesn't know about us. And this is how the oneness and the universal human, or whatever we want to call the collective consciousness, that's how it unfolds. There used to be a time in the early times of the earth where people walked the lone path. So there were hermits, there were sages, there were gods who came to earth as divine beings, and they walked among us and they showed us paths. And all of them have shown us that in today's world, it will be the collectivity that will be the divinity. The divinity will come, the creativeness will come from within us, and not from us walking lone paths, but from us walking together. And just as you said, White Feather, the people who have been here are still here in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we remember them. Someone is going some of them may be traveling, some of them may not be feeling well today, some of them may have other things that they are doing. But just like they are in our hearts, the circle is in theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to tell people when I had Tuesday circles that even when you don't come, know that you're always connected. You can tune into it.
Mm-hmm.
We are recording this now so people can see it later. But even without this Zoom kind of recording, it's being recorded in the Akash. It's being recorded in the sacred spaces, in the etheric space. And as we saw, Tree mentioned Kisitwa circle. Kisitwa used to be here also on the Sunday circles. And in his medicine Reiki circles, none of us had ever seen one another. Most of us had never met. And yet we had such beautiful visions and journeys in that sacred space. Because one of us would be the host, we would hold the hosting space, we would hold the space. And there we saw that time is not linear. There we experienced it. Because even before the host started the circle, one of the participants may have gone and attended the ceremony, and then the host started it, and yet we all felt we were together. And we knew we were together because we would get messages about one another and for one another, which the other person, like I remember once I saw the green Tara for a person who I know is a Christian. I didn't know who's Green Tara much. I didn't know much about her. I just knew the word, Green Tara as a goddess. And I told her, so we had to get out of our ego, because fear and anxiety and apprehension is ego. Because first I thought, how can I tell her? She may say, why are you trying to put your religion into me? Because she may think it's religious. So I had all these anxieties about sharing. But this was such a beautiful sacred space that Kisitwa had created for us, that we felt free to open up. And so I wrote over there, I saw the green Tara around you, Patty. Patty, remember Patty Tree? And she said, how did you know that she is my goddess? I said, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know the beauty? It's just 3 years ago that I realized that if she came to me for her, she also came for me. That is the beauty of co-creation. If I get a message for you, Glory, the message is for me and you. And that's the beauty of teaching. And that's the beauty of healing. If we are healing, if you say I'm a healer and someone comes to you, the person who's coming to you is also coming for your healing. They may not heal me directly, but they will cause situations to happen which will help me to bring out, and I'm actually physically seeing it in my life every day. So this is the beauty of co-creation. It doesn't matter in which form we arrive at one another. One of us may seem to be a teacher, one of us may seem to be a messenger, one of us may seem to be a patient, but we're actually all learning together. We are all growing together. This is why I love so much this feeling of co-creation, the core of it, which is communication. And Lynn is going to be teaching a class on, you see you see Lynn's profile picture? This is what she will be teaching us either next month or or maybe in December. We have to figure out a date. She presented it to me yesterday. So the core of is also communication. It's community. It's so much, so beautiful. And thank you so much for allowing me to speak so much. So that's how all of us have come into co-creation and do you feel you're a co-creator? This is for now my last question. Do you feel that you're co-creating your life and the life of people around you? So starting once again with you, Glory.
Absolutely. And even before I got in touch with, me and learning all of these ways, I've always felt that I'm a co-creator, and I've always seen how my words can affect people and how my actions can affect people, and how simple acts of grace and just something simple as a compliment can change a person's life, a person's day, a person's world. It's that's a lesson that I learned at a very young age, is to be genuine and to be receptive, and to not be afraid of speaking up, because I was always the same, right? Like, oh, I don't know how they're going to take it, or maybe they'll think the wrong thing, and like, I'm going to say what I feel, in the kindest way, and usually people are receptive to it, and usually it's like the same, like, oh my goodness, how did you know I needed to hear that today? Thank you so much, you made my day, or or it's amazing. So absolutely. And in my life, I have definitely seen, sometimes to a too great of an extent of how powerful my words are, right? And then I'm like biting my tongue, like, damn, I shouldn't have said that, right? Because I didn't realize how powerful my words are and how much strength my desires might have, and when they're temporary desires, right, you have to be careful, because you might say something in anger and not really mean it, so I've really learned to give attention to my mouth and my desire in my words. But absolutely, I'm a co-creator. Absolutely. Lynn, are you a co-creator?
Yes, I have experienced many vibes of co-creation here in the co-creator circle. I've felt it on the Sundays with Taveta's meditations. It's strange. I'm a mover. I'm at a standing desk, and when I do the meditations, I kind of float around the room, and I feel very connected. And I'll think something, and then Taveta will say it. Or I'll start to go somewhere, and then Taveta talks about it. I feel that connection, as Meenakshi was saying earlier about the healing and the healed. It's one. It's there's a connection between us, a non-local connection, which is energy-based. So it doesn't necessarily have to be words. It can be feelings, or with the meditations, visualizations. So I feel it with the Taveta meditations, also the monthly Gaia meetings. White Feather was there in one where I was having a panic attack, during the connect, because physiologically, I had trouble processing what I was feeling energetically. And the group paused and held space for me, and my heart rate decreased. And Danae was saying how watching me go through that was a learning experience for everyone else too. And I learned how to slow my heart rate down, and there was that deep sense of co-creation. And the third is in the intention circles. Meenakshi and I was in one yesterday, and she asked me to present on the zones of communication. And it was the first time I did. I created a slideshow and I kept saying, oh, it's not ready,
Wow.
it's not ready. And Meenakshi was like, we're doing it, it's ready. And that was a very big co-creation for me. It's really elevated what I'm doing. And it wasn't planned or expected. We both just went with that energetic flow. So I very much feel the co-creation here in the circle, and I'm very grateful to be here with everyone. And I pass the talking stick to Marcy. Do you feel a sense of co-creation in the circle?
Absolutely. I just got here, but I already feel the beautiful energy you all of you are creating, and now I'm part of it. Again, I'm very grateful to be here. And yes, I've always felt like well, it's been developing through the years. I always felt it. I've always felt throughout my life since I was a kid, felt very connected to other people, to the people around me, to nature. And I had the blessing to spend a lot of years in the south of my country. I'm from Chile originally. So the nature there is like all beautiful and bright, and just you feel it. You really feel it deep in your soul. And I was blessed to experience all that. So I've always felt extremely connected to that and to the people around me. But somehow I've been learning, especially the last few years, how to use that in a positive way, and not to block maybe other things coming from source that sometimes I'm afraid of. And I've been trying to be more open to that without being afraid, and feeling it more, and use my I'm going to call it power, because I think it's kind of like our magic power, my power to create things in a positive way, and in a way that can help me grow and also help others, because that's what I think I'm here for. I'm still learning. So, but I absolutely feel like I can create things, and I see the synchronicity. I feel it, especially when I'm in that vibe, and when I feel the high vibration. I know sometimes I think things and then they're right in front of my eyes, or I create even things that are material. Like I think about something and it manifests in front of me, a book or something. And well, that's it. I feel extremely connected, and sometimes I have to protect myself also from, well, many times, most of the time, from other people with maybe, I don't know, not so aware of everything, and not let that bring me down. So it's a process. And again, very happy to be here with you guys, and keep learning and growing together. And I think our next creator is Meenakshi.
Yeah, and
How
I've
are you a
already
creator?
spoken. Actually, yeah, I do feel I'm a co-creator. The co part of it is very strong for me, and the creator part I'm learning to accept. Teresa, are you a co-creator? Tree.
I guess we all are to some extent or degree or whatever. So I don't know. I think every action you make co-creates something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
White.
Oh,
Are you a co-creator?
Yes, I've been a co-creator since I mean, when I look back on my life, I could see that I was being guided in my life from the time I was very small, just thinking everybody else was like that. You know, everybody else was doing the same thing. And, you know, so it's led me into a lot of different modalities and things like that in my life. I did a lot of healing work for many years, and you know, just it's nice to be in the circle because everyone brings something different to the table, which is nice to connect with and be aware of. And that's what I feel, that's what I get a lot from, is just everyone's participation in their life and what they're doing, and then how that relates to me and in my life and what I'm doing. And so it's and I feel like we're finding each other. We're finding our kindred spirits, so to speak, our people that are on the same wavelength that we are, so that we can add to and build in our co-creation. And I'm really enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you, White Feather. You know, one thing that I was going to start the reading, but I wanted to ask another question which has come up for me after what you said. And that is that we often say that we can be with people of like mind, or like you said, of the same wavelength. Who do you feel that you can co-create with is very important. So I realized for me that when I started my healing as a practice, which is not something I do regularly, but it's there for whenever people call on me, or even teaching, that I am what I call a lazy teacher and a lazy healer. I'm not here to motivate people to do something which they don't already want to do. But so I call myself a connector, and that is I'm at the crossroads, and if someone comes to me, I point out ways to them. So I'll tell them, go to Lynn if you want to learn about communication, go to Taveta for meditation, go to White Feather. So I'm like a way station. Mm. I won't motivate people and try to change their minds. But I also realize that if someone comes to me who doesn't want to transform or change something which bothers them, then they won't stay in my life. They go away. And this is not just with my work. This is in my human personal life also. And I'm the same. If someone tells me something about me, I'll change it. I can immediately change. I sometimes don't know who I am. Like, what am I like? I don't know what I'm like. You know, except that I know I can change. So I used to think I'm like, like I can go round and round and round. Like my sister told me, you keep hiding your emotions and you never show them. So I started showing them and she didn't like it. I said, but you're the one who told me not to hide. So what I realize is sometimes people ask, we sometimes want change from someone else, but we are not prepared for what will happen as a result, you know? So so to cut it short, I don't want to be with people who feel like me or who think like me. If my husband says, yes, that's true, I said, no, tell me another point of view. I like to hear different points of view, because otherwise, how will I get the full picture? If everyone thinks like me, it'll be very, if everyone I saw in front of me was me, I would be bored. But it's only when you see us all as one, then it's beautiful. This is for me. So for you, how is it, Marcy? I'm going in another kind of an order. Do you feel that you can co-create with people who are of the same mind as you, of the same wavelength as you, or with whom do you find in real life, in your life, that you can co-create with?
I feel I can co-create with anybody. We all bring something to the table, as you said, and sometimes that's also part of the journey or the learning process or the learning experience, that we see other things that we may not resonate with so much, and we have to receive them and listen to the other person. And I'm also a big empath. So somehow, even if the person has absolutely nothing to do with me or the way I think, I can see something there. I may not like it, but I can see where they're coming from, or kind of like put myself in like in their shoes somehow. So absolutely, I think we're all here for a reason. We're all together at this time on this earth for a reason, with a purpose. And I do believe that, even though sometimes my rational mind can't process it as well as I'm saying it right now, but deep inside, I understand that, and it's part of the learning also.
How about
Yeah.
you, Glory? Who do you feel you can co-create with?
I think also, multiple different personalities and views of mine. I think it depends on what we're working for, right? Because sometimes we need the understanding of like-minded, and sometimes we do need the challenge of somebody that thinks different than us, right? So we could learn and understand a different perspective. But I also think it's a matter of growth and maturity, of being able to work with different people, because I couldn't for a
Absolutely.
while. When I was younger, I was very pig-headed, and I was like, no, you're wrong and I'm right, because it's a different, but how dare you have a different perspective than me, So I have learned to be much more accepting and understanding, and also not be fearful of my abilities of feeling other people, because I think that's what would scare me, was the fact that I could feel their emotions, and I would get overwhelmed by their emotions and their way of thought, because I couldn't handle it myself. So as I've gotten older, and I've been able to take a step back and be like, okay, what do I need to learn from that person and that different perspective? But then again, I see that my close circle are people that are more in tune to how I feel and how I think, because I feel more safe with them and more understood, but definitely all sorts of people, because there's always a learning in every experience.
White Feather, how about you? I know you said wavelengths, but can you expand on that?
Well, like everybody sort of saying, if everybody was like me, or like just one kind of person, you wouldn't be fulfilling our lives if we weren't listening and bringing new things into our life that, resonates or doesn't resonate, and we can keep it or not keep it. And I've learned a lot from people that I didn't think I would learn from. And then you're glad you listened. You were there in their presence for a certain event or something like that. So it's, I think I feel like we're meant to be with each other, so that we can do that, so we can learn and advance and bring forth new things into our lives. That's what I've found for me.
Thank you, White Feather. Lynn, how about you? Who do you find yourself easily able to co-create with?
I am Lynn, and I find that it's easy to co-create with like-minded people as well as opposite-minded people. I feel like I learn a lot from both. That one of my things I do my best to do is, if someone irritates me, I think of why, and I hold up a mirror and I say, what do I do that is similar to this that I probably need to look at? So on the end of, sometimes discomfort, I learn. And then also with like-minded people, I also learn, and I feel that encouragement to explore, like with Meenakshi yesterday. So I do my best to keep an open mind and see things from as many different perspectives as possible. I think that that's one of the best parts about being human, is that I'm able to change every day. That's another similarity with Meenakshi. I reflection write each day, and it's like, okay, so who am I today? Let me figure out, what do I like? What do I enjoy? And to leave that open, that every day really is a new day with new energy, new possibilities. And I do my best to just go with the flow with that. So, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Teresa, what about you, Tree? Who do you feel you can easily co-create with?
Well, I was just going to say I agree with what everybody says. And I think the first person I was listening to was Marcy. She said a lot of the same things I was going to think of. But then I started expanding and thinking more about some of the things Meenakshi's been doing this year with the water and the soil and all the different creator sessions she's had. And so I'm going to expand past people and into nature. And I'm trying to remember the exact question. What was it? Who
do you find in your life that you can easily co-create with?
I'd have to, I guess everything, it's not just people. I think it's with the water and the elements and everything too. I could expand if you want, but I don't know how much time.
Why not? Why not? Please do.
Just, I guess if you're talking about co-creating with things, I think the first thing that came to my mind was one of the teachings in Kasidawa's classes, and he would approach things when he's trying to co-create with them, I guess, or whatever, is come from a place of humility. And the thing he would say would be like, thank you for being my teacher. And that would be the very first thing he would approach in his approach or whatever. So I think that is a good place to start, and just coming from that place of humility. And I think it's easier to co-create in that way. I guess I could talk for hours, but I think I'm done.
That's beautiful, because you don't always speak for hours. And something which has actually come up from what everybody has shared, and that is that in this world there are this entire universe, and even a little thing like drinking a glass of water has these 4 forces, and we are seeing that in us. Something within us which is just still, which is watching and sort of just watching and seeing what's happening, and maybe even organizing it, making it happen. That's the soul. Then all of us have spoken a little about someone that's different from us, and that would be the hetero quality in us, that we are able to see someone who's different and still create with them. Then we have homo, which is that we are comfortable with people who are like us, or we have a sense of who we are. That is a homo quality, that I know that what I was a minute ago is sort of the same as what I am right now. That's why I'm able to even describe something about myself. It's that organized. I feel as if I'm an organized being, even though I may change and be open to everything. But neither hetero nor homo can create everything. What we create in this world is through neutro. Neutro has everything. And that is what we have all shown, that sometimes we are open, sometimes we want a little bit of sameness, and yet we are aware of who it is who wants all that. That is the neutral quality. And as Lynn likes it, and I think all of us do at some stage, let's move into these 3 forces, and then we are going to do Taveta's meditation. So let's stand up. Or even if you don't want to stand up, you can do the movements sitting down. I've seen that if I stand, maybe you won't be able to see. So hetero comes from these kinds of movements, expansion. So we can expand in 3 ways. we can start like this and be like the river, you know? And so you get a little bit of twist also.
So we do
All
it
the
with
way.
you?
Yes, please do. So
Okay.
this we're doing, okay? Then this is one form of hetero. Another form of hetero is this, up. From the chest level, up. Up. And up. Okay, now we are going to do homo, because when hetero keeps changing, then nothing can get created. And homo is very down. It's like very organized. So it's like bringing yourself to the earth. You're touching the earth, you know, like that. And right now we are talking and we're doing it, but we can also feel it. We can feel this connection we have with our mother. Through our feet, through our hands, we can get the vibration. When we want to release something, we can do a mudra like this. Even just placing our hands like this on our lap, we can feel we are releasing everything into the earth. This way we can feel we are receiving, you know, from the sky. And then we have neutro, and neutro is spiral. So it has hetero, it has homo, and it has neutro, like that. So whenever we are feeling that we would like to create something, or we want to feel balanced, we can do this kind of movement with our body. We find it happening with our mind, because with our eyes, we can follow the hand, and it brings the form of stillness. It also brings the spiral energy into the physical body. And the spiral, we live in a spiral universe, right? Our galaxy is spiral. So this whole, whatever is happening within us happens with the spiral force. And when we have the spiral force, then that smile of co-creation can happen. So this whole world is actually created with the spiral energy, the neutral energy, the neutral force. So, my lovely neutral smiling people, we're going to get a message now. And nowadays, as we have seen, Taveta is bringing in the white rose, right? I'm going to play a little music towards the end. This is going to be a very short reading. My voice is not so beautiful as Taveta's, because as I'm aging, I'm finding it's becoming a little bit rough. And I know this is also some healing that I have to do internally. But I think you will be able to hear beyond my physical voice into Taveta's voice. So let's just be relaxed wherever we are. You can be sitting or lying down. Just you can have your video on or off. Please just mute your mics. This is the Co-Creator Circle meditation for October 30th, 2022. Taveta K Grant is presiding from Spirit with Meenakshi precedence to deliver an amazing initiation and celebratory transmutation activation experience. Taveta says, I will be with you. I am with you. But I am not here in physicality. I am guiding, voice on high, yet with the loving, silent inner voice of our divinity. I am here. I am invisible, yet we are visibly here. My presence felt with your presence together. Minds of matter, purity of spirit light. Air, light, transformed spirit, redressed in raised crystal care. The dark night of stars now returned, new blessings bright. The garden's fragrance blossoms through loving waves of vibrant sunlight. And across the skies radiates free-flowing divine, luminescent, multicolored starlight. Here, thy divine creation merges into new reality, self-actualized, joyful creativity, disembodied within soul nativity, as it merges true spirit with your divine destiny. Full unity within the conscious creation of one. The garden of roses grows astoundingly as hearts open wide. No limits to blessings that pour out far and wide. Drink deep from the loving cup divine, Holy Grail and Mother of Light. Recrown your majestic birth in flight. Spread wide your holy wings into the night. We are once again pure essence of light. So take the cosmic Christ's breath inside. You are now one, son, daughter divine, who rides the evening silent tide, casting starlight wherever you ride. Your pure heart of love, with radiant sparkling lights. You are the new order, divine beings recalibrated of spirit to matter. You are transfigured, divine light consciousness, blessed by their divine source of one. Blessings, blessing, blessing of love. Namaste. Stay in this space for a while, experiencing the beauty of the pure heart of love. Gently allow your breath to bring you back to this time and space. Let your hands cover your eyes, and from within your cupped eyes, gently open them first into this warm darkness. Feel that sense before this world was created. And then let your fingers slowly open, and you see the light. When you feel comfortable, please come back. We'll have a short round of sharing, if we wish to, of what we experienced. Anyone who would like to share, please just raise your hand so we know that you're ready, and unmute yourself and share your experience. Marcy? I saw all of us as a field of roses. I actually saw a field of roses, and then I realized that we are not running through the roses as I usually see us running through flowers, but we are the roses. And the color was red, then it became pink, and then it became so beautifully, I could feel the fragrance rising, and the fragrance became a being. And I realized that that is our one being, the one self. Yes, Lynn, I can sense that. You know, when we used to meditate in Taveta circles, and then I asked her once, but why do we have to come out when you say it's time? Why can't we stay in that space? And she said, but then who is in charge? And there's no one answer to that question, but it's fine to stay in that space, just letting yourself know that we'll come out when we're ready. We've had people who didn't come out for 2 or 3 hours, so which is also fine, as long as you're ready. So in whichever space you are, we'll just do the gratitude lotus, and we'll feel you synchronizing with us. So Marcy, the way we do the gratitude lotus is that our hands are in prayer position in front of the heart chakra. And then we slowly begin to open the petals. And today we are going to open them in the Triorigin sequence. So there was the oneness, and from the oneness came the hetero power. And whenever we are feeling lack of energy or lack of focus, we can touch the hetero finger, and that gives us focus. It helps the mind to come into a focus. And then we'll open the ring finger. The ring fingers have the homo quality. The homo is that oneness, that sameness, the wanting to come back to source. That's why if you see with your hands closed, It's very difficult for this finger to stand straight. Every other finger can stand straight by itself, except this, because this has the homo energy. So when we need to feel calm, and if you're feeling very distracted, then we can also touch this finger. It helps us to bring calmness. And then we will open the middle finger, because that has the neutral energy. That's why it's in the center, and it is the biggest finger, and it has all the energies. When we want to feel balanced, then we can also touch our middle finger. But today we are going to use our fingers and the little finger, which has no force, it has no function, but it brings a beauty into our hands. It brings a sense of harmony. That is the neutral energy. The thumb is the existent spirit in our hands. It is like the creator, the controller, like God. So let's face it. So this is like our soul. This is like our mind. This is like our body. And this is our life. Okay, so we'll start. We are grateful for everything that comes to us through our mind. We are grateful for everything that we can do with our bodies. We are grateful for the life force that comes to us. And we stay in this position for a moment, for 3 breaths, bringing in and receiving the gifts from our mind, our body, our life, our soul. Let us radiate it out to one another, to ourselves, and then expand it out into the whole world, bringing it back and embracing ourselves, honoring the being that we are for doing the work of the soul, and coming back to the center in loving gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. Do you want to share something, or shall we close the circle? So we can close, and
Thank
hope
you.
to see you all next Sunday.